Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started. You guys can continue to eat. We're just going to be up here kind of introducing everyone. Can you hear? Can everyone hear me? Oh, perfect. There we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 8th annual PechaKucha Night. I'm James Wighaus.
And I'm Jen DeGroff. Can you hear me? Yes. And I'm Jen DeGroff. And together, we co-chair the Executive Mentorship Program. We're excited to see you today.
In addition to volunteering with YPN, I'm an attorney at O'Connell and Aronowitz, and I am a varsity high school football coach at Mahonison High School.
And I am finishing up my MBA in Business Analytics and Marketing while building my own business, True Icon, where I help individuals stay true to themselves and boldly grow. Fitness, mindset, and coaching. And a big part of that is the community here in the Capital Region. A huge thank you to our presenting sponsors, National Grid, TransFinder, and Verizon.
And to our supporting sponsors, CDTA, Ellis Medicine, and NISTEC. We couldn't do this without you. Let's also show some love to our event sponsors, Revolution Hall, for hosting us in this incredible space, and their awesome staff. Agora Media for taking our tech to the next level. And Best Frame Forward for capturing tonight's moments. Let's all give them another round of applause collectively.
And I know everyone's excited for the main event. It's one of my favorites, actually, this whole year. Think of this as the credits before the main event. Thank you for all of the presenters for their willingness to step up to the challenge. The PK is a really tough presentation. It's timed, it's intense, the slides move without you doing anything. It takes a lot of work. Thank you to Christina Valentine for creating the event graphics. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you to Jordan Dunn, Mia Teal, and Sarah Locker for YPN Communications Committee and all of their help. And lastly, you. Thank you for being here. And also thank you for your donations to Unity House, a Capital Region nonprofit based here in Troy. Their work provides access and opportunity for everyone, particularly those with the greatest needs. So round of applause for everyone.
Tonight's title, Local Lens of the Capital Region, marks the midpoint of our Executive Mentorship Program. Some of our audience members are mentors and mentees. Thank you for participating in this transformational program. No matter where we're from, the Capital Region connects us. Whether you're a lifelong local or a proud transplant, this is the place we all call home. Now, it's our pleasure to introduce tonight's MC, and I think there's going to be some walk-up music too or something. So, some of you already know her, but Brittany Lawton.
Okay.
Sorry, I messed that up, I think.
Go ahead, Brittany. I'll introduce her. Come on. Round of applause for Brittany. Now, Brittany is the CEO of Lawton Social. She and her team help leaders elevate businesses through comprehensive marketing strategies. Since founding the company in 2016, Brittany has collaborated with dozens of businesses to translate goals into solid strategies. She has emceed PK for 3 years. This is her third year, and we're so excited to have her back. Let's welcome Brittany onward to the stage.
Thank you, guys. Hello, good evening. I'm very excited to be back for the third year. I can't believe I got the invite back again. Super excited. Thank you to Jen and James for the introduction, and welcome to PechaKucha Volume 35, Local Lens of the Capital Region. Can I see a show of hands who has not yet attended a PK event? Wow, ooh, give yourselves a round of applause, please. That's so exciting. So, well, you all did not have my view. A lot of people, this is the first time. So I want to give a little background quickly. So PechaKucha means chit-chat in Japanese. And it's a high-energy storytelling format that keeps things short and sweet. So as Jen said, the presentation keeps on moving. There's 20 images, 20 seconds each, no clicker to change the slides. So every presentation is exactly 6 minutes and 40 seconds long. The concept actually began in Tokyo as a way to stop architects from talking so much. And so now it's a global phenomenon with over 15,000 presentations in 1,300 cities across 140 countries. And now we get to bring it to you tonight in collaboration with the Opalka Gallery. So tonight we have 9 incredible presenters ready to share their take on local lens. These stories will make you think, laugh, maybe even see the capital region in a whole new way. When it comes to building community and empowering the next generation of leaders, Amari Duncan is ensuring young women are strong, smart, and bold as the Director of Philanthropic Impact at Girls Inc. of the Greater Capital Region. Amari is shaping our region's future through her work on the Board of Trustees for KIP Capital Region, as Vice President of the Albany Academy for Girls Alumni Association, and by serving on the Leadership Capital Region Steering Committee. Amari is that girl, and she's here to get us started. Amari.
Clap twice if you can hear me. Hit it. Today, there are kids across the Capital Region who call me their mentor. They ask me really hard questions like, how do they make a lasting impact in their schools? Or do I know college admissions people? Or who am I dating right now? And when I sat down to make this presentation, I really had to laugh because how exactly did I get here? I know there are people in this room who were that kid. The loud, outspoken student who always had something to say. The one teacher said, you should just go to law school because you love to argue. Well, that was me. And I feel like I've always been like this. Anyone in this room who knows me would agree. And I feel like I kind of just woke up like that. I mean, okay, I didn't wake up a girl boss, but I did wake up the eldest sister. Yes, oldest daughter syndrome is too real. And with 7 siblings watching me, I learned early that being the example mattered. You have to show up, set the example, and lead. And in my family, I grew up as the big 3. First daughter, first niece, first granddaughter. And I was surrounded by boys early on, but I had my grandma Mary. She was my very first mentor. She made so much space for me. She nurtured my curiosity, encouraged every passion, and I couldn't do any presentation on me without including her. And I grew up playing basketball. It taught me how to give and receive feedback. And I've had all kinds of coaches, some loud, others intense, some hands-off, but I learned that feedback isn't personal, whether from a coach or a teammate. You have to listen, adjust, and improve. And playing sports is a foundation of who I am, both personally and professionally. Okay, so picture this. It's senior year of college, and my roommate drags me to an indoor football game. I couldn't care less about. I was there to get drunk. But by the end, I walked up to the very first person I saw in a team polo and said, I want to intern here. The next day, I interviewed, and the day after that, I started. And no, I had no idea what I was signing up for, but this led to my very first job after graduation. Now, did I know I was going to be making 100 cold calls a day in the ticket office, calling old River Rat season ticket holders? No! And I hated every second of it. And when I tried to resign, my boss instead had me pivot to something that made more sense for me. And that taught me that, if the shoe doesn't fit, it's okay to ask for something different. And early in your career, the relationships that you build matter. The people who see your work ethic can become mentors and sponsors and lifetime supporters. See, back then, Dan Nolan was the owner of the team, and I was starting off making 100 calls a day. But now he's someone who answers my calls, supports my work, and stays in my corner. And a lot of people in this room know me from fundraising and nonprofit, but I didn't even consider this field until COVID shut down professional sports, and it left me under searching for what was next. Then in one of those right place, right time moments, someone at an event heard what I did and said, you should come work for me. And just like that, I found myself at the United Way, stepping into the world of fundraising, with zero experience, but a willingness to figure it out. And my first big task was planning 518 Day, the biggest volunteer event in the capital region. I had to bring together corporate partners and community organizations and volunteers, and it was a crash course in relationship building, coordinating with hundreds of people, all with different needs. But by the end of it, I had a network of people. And in this role, I kept expanding my network, meeting more young professionals who, like me, wanted to make an impact. And I was learning so much from the people around me. It wasn't just about who I knew. It was about understanding the capital region, what its needs were, and how we, as young leaders, were going to shape its future. And then one day, I sat down to speak to a group of students. So even with all of these siblings and all of these cousins, this moment had felt different. I saw this new generation, and I realized that this is what I'm passionate about. And as we talked about school and sports and friends and boys, it was this aha moment that this is the work that was going to drive me and be my purpose. Later, I was invited to speak at my old high school for Black History Month, and I decided that I was going to share my reality and my experience of what it was like as one of the few Black students navigating this predominantly white school. And I did it in the most PG-rated way possible, but afterwards, 2 students told me how meaningful that moment was to them and how they had felt seen. So see, my why is simple. I want to be the mentor that I wish I had had. Black women are over-mentored and under-sponsored. We get advice, but we don't always get opportunities. So if I can use my network and my platform and my very loud voice to make sure this new generation doesn't just get advice, but gets access and resources and a real seat at the table, then I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do. And my journey to Girls Inc. comes down to sponsorship and opportunity. Ashley, my former basketball coach, had supported me from afar for years. She knew my passion for mentorship and saw my talent in fundraising. And when an opportunity arose, she saw as the perfect fit to make sure that she advocated for me to have a leadership role. So mentorship isn't about CEOs and executives, it's about the people beside you. Ben and I call each other our partners in good because we're constantly pushing each other to do more, be better, and create opportunities that don't exist yet. The best relationships aren't just about support though, they're about accountability and making each other better. And you don't have to wait till you made it to start lifting people up. And some of my most valuable mentors aren't above me, but they're right beside me. We challenge each other and advocate for one another, and that's what building community looks like. It isn't always about career moves. It can be about creating space or sharing knowledge or making sure we're all moving forward together. So after graduating from Leadership Capital Region, on the second try, I told Sammy that I wanted to speak more in 2025, and she immediately flooded me with opportunities, including today's. But asking is just the first step, and sometimes it's the scariest. But you have to trust in your own abilities and your own experiences and know that you are more than capable of stepping up to the challenge. And when Sammy put my name forward to moderate an LCR panel, I suddenly found myself in this new space with new challenges. She didn't just offer advice, she created the opportunity. She spoke my name in a room I wasn't yet in, and when I walked in, I realized I wasn't just checking off a goal, I was stepping into the version of myself I had already been working toward. So here I am on a stage sharing my story, a story that isn't just about me, but about the people, places, and moments that have shaped me. It's about the capital region that raised me, and me in return pouring back into it. So no, I didn't wake up one day and become a mentor, but I showed up, I took chances, and I asked for more. And in return, people showed up for me. And I'm very excited to be here tonight. Thank you so much for hearing my story.
What a way to kick off tonight. And I can confidently say there is no one better to teach kids to be strong, smart, and bold. And what a badass for asking for what you want. We should all do that more. Next, we have another amazing woman who's dedicating her life to creating non-traditional career opportunities. Jennifer Lawrence is a champion for equity, empowerment, and education. Founder and CEO of the Seat Center, Jennifer's work creates transformative opportunities for underrepresented young people. Dedicated to helping individuals unlock their potential and step into success, her impact can be seen in the countless lives she's helped shape. And tonight, we get to hear her story. Please welcome Jennifer.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, YPN. Thank you, Jordan Dunn, for nominating me. And I never knew this would be so much work. But I attended and never thought I would be here doing this. So I am excited to share this chit-chat with all 160 of you. So let's go. Thousands of Capital Region young people, 18 to 24, are the future now, but they don't know it yet. They feel left out, left behind, and out of hope and out of options. They are not in work or school, and many times they are defined by their challenges and not by their potential. There are many young people languishing in a gap between high school and college. They are those who didn't graduate high school, those who have a diploma but not enough work history to land a good job, and those who, despite all of the open positions, nobody's taking a chance on them. What if young people could change their perspective? What if this change could fuel our region? What if we could flip the script and those who feel overlooked are really the heroes of our region? Because they stayed to take care of their children, to get their life on track, to work their family business. They stayed to overcome adversity. When I was 18, my father unexpectedly passed away. He was 39. It happened at the kitchen table. It changed my trajectory forever. It severely impacted my choices, and I questioned everything. Life was swirling, and I stayed. Society sometimes says staying is a setback, but rather, isn't it a strength? Is it true that leaving when you graduate is what you do? But in me staying, I found my purpose. In those early years, I worked in group homes, food pantries, the Albany County Jail. I learned that one thing. I was the same age as the young people then. I learned as one thing is that all young people wanted a job. It was a hope for a paycheck that made us want to address our other issues in life. In 2006, I had the opportunity to start a youth build program and bring hope to the most disconnected young people in Schenectady. All this led to starting Seat Center in 2015. Seat would be a new type of nonprofit where mission met marketplace. It was born to provide transformative workforce development to young people and connect business to real-time solutions. We combine teaching with life skills, technical credentials with love and support. We connect businesses who want to invest in untapped talent. Each student is immersed in a career pathway program focused on personal transformation. In 3 to 6 months, students are dedicating themselves to full-time training. 50% of their week, they're in classroom instruction, not just technical instruction, but soft skills. 40% of their time is hands-on learning, including work habits, and 10% is leadership development. Every week, students apply what they learn in their classroom to the real world setting. Like Shaw and Angel, who are building a house on Sheridan Avenue in Albany. They've never used tools before starting training, and now 6 months later, I'm so excited, they're working full-time for construction companies in our region. Like Blessin, who was accepted into Syracuse University, but she decided she needed something different, something smaller, something more supportive. So she found her career path in our heating and cooling program, and now a year later, she is crushing it as a technician for service experts. Like our new film students who are building their portfolio while building the creative economy in this region. Before this program, they had aspirations, but nowhere to learn, grow, and create. Watching them bond was magical. Now they are working on some of the best industry equipment with numerous large-scale productions. For culinary, we needed a way to provide authentic hands-on experience, so recently we opened our culinary training lab for students to get their first real-world job experience in a safe mentoring environment. What I love about this career pathway is that each of you can experience it. Since we are now open for events, you can participate in a community dinner, have amazing food and a great environment, and be part of shaping our future workforce. You can be part of helping Stephanie hone her customer service skills as she practices front of house and back of house training, with her hopes of growing her home cooking side business into a full-fledged catering career. You can be part of helping Amir overcome his shy and sometimes awkward way with others that now is the biggest and brightest smile in the room. And in 6 months, you might see some of them working at the local restaurant you enjoy going to, like Devin and Anthony, who are at Hattie's now. Devin says, "When I first started SEAT, I barely knew how to cook ramen. This program means everything to me because I wasn't doing anything good with my life, and SEAT believed in me and gave me and my brother so many chances. Because of their love, we now work at one of the top restaurants in Albany." So, what does love have to do with it? Absolutely everything. Love, safety, and basic needs like food and housing are essential for education to be effective. My question is there a training gap or is there really a support gap? All of us in this room had more than one chance to get it right. We need to be the mentors and coaches that this generation needs. How would workforce shortages be impacted if we started by investing our time and our talent into underrepresented people? How would we shift our region if we could start selling hope in the form of a job? What if the thousands of young people who fell in the gap are now lifted out and part of a regional talent pipeline? I love this region. I love this region because we have grit, we are resilient. People say the odds are against us, but we show up and win. Our region's size is our superpower. We get the rare chance to watch transformation unfold and know we are part of it. In this time, we need to guard our hearts against apathy and disillusionment. We have to resist what could pull us apart and dig into grace, empathy, and love. Let us embrace the full purpose we were meant to fulfill right here in the capital region. Our region is full of great things and the people who've chosen to stay. Let's celebrate them, elevate their voice, and be part of helping them defy the odds every day. Let's be the bridge builders to make sure every young person has a seat at the table. We are the future now.
Now, there are a lot of common themes between Amari and Jen's presentation. It's almost like Sammy took time to plan this out. Who would have thought? But I think both conversations really spark some thoughts around sponsorship and support and the need to welcome other folks. and lift other people up. And so I think when we consider our takeaways for today, think about how you can do that, even in a small way. That was off the cuff, so now let me find where I'm actually supposed to be. So I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Ashley Lindsay. She's a digital guru and the founder of Digitally Grounded. From branding to marketing strategy, she's shaping the digital landscape. Recognized as a woman on the rise and 40 under 40 in 2025, let's give a warm welcome to Ashley.
Hello. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to my lovely supporters here in the front row. Thank you so much. And to my family and friends who are watching on the live stream, and all of you. So, without further ado, let's go. As the owner of Digitally Grounded, a boutique marketing agency, I work in a fast-paced environment with a variety of challenges on a regular basis. Most people struggle with solving problems when they're face to face with them. However, when we're able to change our perspective, it can become a little easier to find answers. Here's a thought. What if we step back, change perspective, and allow ourselves to highlight the solutions that we're hiding all along? Shifting perspectives doesn't just help in daily life, it's a game changer for business too. Let's explore how mindfulness can help us identify solutions we never thought were possible. Mindfulness goes beyond meditation. It's about cultivating a state of awareness and mental clarity to think creatively and make better decisions. Through mindfulness, we train ourselves to go with the flow, which hones our intuition and helps us find solutions amongst the noise. Personally, I use this skill to see my clients' challenges from fresh angles and offer solutions to help them optimize their business's presence. Mindfulness is invaluable at Digitally Grounded. It enhances my decision-making, reduces stress in high-pressure situations, and sparks creative thinking, which in turn drives innovation. I love that it increases my productivity and forces me to focus on one task instead of multitasking. That's great when I'm double-checking a website or working with a client on a holistic marketing session where we can uncover different opportunities for my clients to succeed in the long term. The slides are going very fast. I'm just going to go with it. Research shows it takes 59 to 66 days to form a habit, not just 21 days. I've broken it into 4 stages: deciding to act, addressing anything that may block you from achieving the outcome, practicing consistently, and creating automations to support your desired outcome. Choose a specific time, like first thing in the morning, and practice your daily ritual. Whether it's journaling your thoughts or short guided meditation, doing it the same time every day helps your brain associate as part of the routine. When coming up against a new challenge, like a website project or an SEO strategy, I look at it through a neutral curiosity lens. Observing data without emotional ties can separate emotions from facts and allow insights to be easier to see. Mindfulness fosters creativity. I adopt methods to design websites and solve complex business challenges for my clients. For example, taking 10 minutes to brainstorm before a meeting allows me to clear the mental clutter and see solutions in areas that we never thought were there in the first place. Mindfulness isn't just about being calm. It's about building mental resilience. You can train your willpower like a muscle. For example, tackling procrastination tasks first thing in the morning may make you more resilient throughout the day, no matter what comes your way. Integrating mindfulness rituals into your routine is more sustainable with support. Surround yourself with individuals or teams who value growth mindset shifts. Collaborating and sharing progress and accountability, it gives you a chance to learn from others. The more people model these behaviors, the easier the habits grow. Together, we can turn mindfulness into a movement. Entrepreneurs who practice mindfulness exhibit emotional intelligence, adaptability, open-mindedness, key traits for navigating the highs and lows of business, and remain calm under pressure, spot opportunities quicker, and pivot faster when we're faced with obstacles. We know that being present in the moment is just as important as strategic planning, and we use this knowledge to benefit our clients. Mindfulness is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about viewing challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. It's a tool for infinite growth in both your personal and professional life. Through small actions and consistent effort, mindfulness becomes a powerful tool for resilience, creativity, and lasting success. When stress is high, solutions often seem far away. Mindfulness reframes that narrative, enabling you to tackle challenges without overwhelm. With a calm mood and a focus on actionable steps, navigating difficult situations becomes less about struggle and more about strategic problem solving. Mindfulness teaches us to adopt a mind like water, flexible yet strong, adapting to challenges as they come. It's not about ignoring stress or difficulty, it's about facing it with calm and focus, like ripples in a still pond, amplifying clarity rather than chaos. Now that you understand mindfulness, the big question is, what action to take? Start small, stay consistent, and remember that shifting your perspective creates room for infinite success. The path toward change is simple but impactful. You don't have to tackle massive challenges alone. Start today, and over time, mindfulness will empower you to thrive. As we journey on life's path, I encourage you to take a moment to commit or recommit to incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine or in a way that works best for you. As we focus on gratitude and being present, we get to have life experiences with deeper meaning and connection to ourselves and the world around us. So take time today to take the first step and lead a more mindful life today. Thank you so much for your time, and it's a great experience.
Thank you, Ashley. I think something that's particularly interesting or useful when it comes to mindfulness that Ashley was talking about is the consistency factor. And a way that I like to do that is I actually block out in my calendar a couple hours on Monday mornings, so that way I can take a breath, have time to think, get through the inbox a little bit before the hustle and bustle of the week begins. So really not only putting what Ashley said into practice, but how can you make it sustainable? So next I have the easiest introduction of the night. Please welcome Guy Waltman to the stage.
My mother is dead. But wait, was she killed? Is the killer still in the closet? I genuinely checked the closet. There was no one in there. On to my assessment. There's an empty bottle of pills. She's still breathing. Shallow breathing. Time to go to the hospital. One of the most difficult decisions of my life was made, but it actually wasn't my decision. My mother had a living will, and she made it very clear she did not want any life-saving medical procedures. I advocated my mother's wish to the hospital. Now, on top of all of that, my girlfriend at the time, broke up with me, a double whammy, saying that she was not prepared to see someone through the death of their parent. I was heartbroken, and these two traumas really flipped my world upside down. These two traumas truly made it difficult to breathe. I no longer wanted to be alive. I had no motivation genuinely to live. It was time to turn to the windmill of motivation. Now, to recapture a will to live, I needed to diagnose my motivational problems. And the windmill of motivation is one of my more original concepts that I'm really most proud of, illustrating the 5 ingredients of motivation that we all need in order to sustain world-class motivation. Now, to be perfectly clear, I mean any time in life in which you are lacking motivation, you are therefore lacking at least one or perhaps even more than one of these 5 ingredients. But why a windmill? And it's because windmills generate energy, and that's really what motivation is. Motivation is energy. And just like how windmills don't have energy, humans don't have energy either. Windmills generate energy, and so too must we. And there are 5 ingredients to making that happen. On to our first ingredient, inspiration. Now, inspiration is not the same thing as motivation. Motivation is just energy, and inspiration is the reason behind it. It's the reason that you care, and the bigger the reason, the more motivation you'll have. But in my quest of diagnosing my motivational problem, inspiration was not my issue. I had plenty of reasons to live. My first motivational issue was in ingredient number 2, belief. See, how's anyone going to compare to my ex at that time? I never thought I would love again. And beyond that, did I just lose my second parent? See, trauma has a way of warping your mind. I didn't believe that I had a bright future. The cons of life were outweighing the pros. So thus far, my motivational diagnosis was that I did not have an optimistic belief system. I needed to get off the hamster wheel. I needed to make progress, our third ingredient of motivation, but not the illusion of progress, actual progress. And this is the most common motivational issue of all, stagnation, lacking of progress. But I couldn't even get out of bed. I mean, I was truly stuck in the fetal position. I had zero motivation. And this is where cognitive override comes into play. It's a brutal skill, but it's truly a vital one. Cognitive override is the ability to force oneself into action. And that is what I had to do every single day of my life. And just like how cars sometimes need help getting started, but once they're on, they have no problem staying on, humans are like that too sometimes. So the first step is the hardest one, but then once you take that first step, the momentum really is immediate. Cognitive override became my everyday life. So I had my work cut out for me. I had a serious belief issue. I was not making progress. But thankfully, I was not short on ambition. Our fourth ingredient of motivation is ambition, having a goal. And thankfully, I had plenty of them. My dreams were still intact. I wanted to be a best-selling author. I wanted to audition my masterclass videos. So sure, yeah, I felt stuck, but I did have ambition. I had plenty of vision. What I could not do, however, was see clearly. My vision was cloudy. See, my brain dwelled on one thing, heartbreak. My expectations, our fifth and final ingredient, were not met. I never saw that breakup coming. It was whiplash. I was still in love. And beyond that, I didn't expect the hospital to go through with my mother's life-saving medical procedure without my legal consent. I was genuinely shocked. Now, I'm happy my mother's alive, but as her healthcare proxy, I felt like I let her down. And at least that was my thinking at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to sustain motivation, we need 5 ingredients. All 5 ingredients. We need deeply seated inspiration. We need to believe in both ourselves and in what's possible, and we must progress towards our ambitions with proper expectations. Now, given this recipe, there was no wind in my sails because I was missing several of these ingredients. But I did successfully diagnose my motivational problem, and awareness is step 1. It was time now to do the work. Therapy, forgiveness, swapping my expectations with appreciations for the time that my love and I did have together, and taking care of my mother, all became part of my healing journey. I returned to the mountains. I naturally aligned with a new love, the greatest love I have ever known, and which shattered my previously pessimistic belief systems and has brought joy to my life. Now, in no uncertain terms, healing was hard, and it was a lot harder done than is said here tonight. But if my journey has taught me anything truly worthwhile, it is this, which is that Nothing changes like the past, which is a fun and interesting quote. What was once my near downfall is now an opportunity for greatness. It's an opportunity to educate. It's an opportunity to inspire. Here tonight in just 6 minutes and over 40 seconds. I hope, thank you. I hope you will take this recipe with you. I hope you will use it to diagnose your motivational problems and the motivational problems of others. And I thank you because truly I am happy to be alive. I'm happy and grateful to have spoken to you all tonight. Thank you.
Could you just show the class the cutout of his head, please? Thank you. Sorry, folks up top, you're not getting to experience this. Thank you so much, Guy. When it comes to shaping the future of the Capital Region, few people have left a mark quite like Jeff Morurell. When asked about his favorite thing in the Capital Region, Jeff didn't name one neighborhood or a hotspot. Instead, he captured the spirit of our region with this beautiful metaphor. There is no single place that is the center of gravity. So instead of a sun, the region is more a collection of stars, each offering unique experiences that forms this amazing constellation. It's that constellation of culture, community, and creativity that Jeff knows so well. And tonight, he's here to share his unique lens. Please welcome Jeff to the stage.
All right. Hope you hear me. Thank you, Sammy. I've decided Sammy is like a PechaKucha ninja, the level of organization. So thank you for getting me prepared. This is a little bit of misdirection. Figured put a ridiculous picture up and no one would notice how nervous I am to do this, but c'est la vie. I will preface that every slide is titled with a Nirvana song title, which will become evident shortly. So, all right, let's rock and roll. So I grew up downstate in the 1980s middle-class rural burbia of northern Westchester. But shortly after my younger sister Amanda was born, my parents' union broke down into an acrimonious 16-year separation that left us kids to grapple with mom's mental illness and dad who dropped in effectively at his convenience. Relief from this powder keg came when I began spending most weekends with my paternal grandparents in a house that they had filled with art. My grandparents' place was an oasis, but also an island, and as I grew older, much of what I did to occupy myself, I did on my own. I was always writing, drawing, painting, designing, even doing collage, but music was mostly background. Until 1992, I heard the song that would change the course of my life in an 8th grade dance. I didn't just hear Smells Like Teen Spirit, I felt it. I identified with it. Even a gawky adolescent who was still trying to figure out how to navigate the world with an extra 24 inches of legs could mosh. Teen Spirit was more than a song. It was a personal paradigm shift. And my record collection, which at the time boasted 2 albums, began to expand rapidly. I was in the local Sam Goody, now expired, so much that the manager there would actually let me return cassettes I didn't like. And yes, I said cassettes. But ultimately, it wasn't enough to be a fan. I thought I would start taking bass lessons with my best friend, Chris. But our buddy Rob, the guitar player, had a drum set in his basement, so by process of elimination, I picked up the sticks. Chris and I still ended up taking lessons together, but as a rhythm section. Our instructor, Jay Mazzarella, was an ethnomusicologist who hoboed on freight trains and played in a heavy metal jazz fusion band. Jay introduced us to our first recording session, the guitarists with whom we'd form our first band, and jam sessions at One Station Plaza, a bespoke art place in Peekskill that left an impression. My mind was resonating with the world around me. MTV still played music videos 24/7. VH1 rolled out its Behind the Music series. Basically, I got all my news from Kurt Loder and Tabitha Soren. I even somehow managed to talk my mom into letting me go to Woodstock 94 with a group of college age counselors from the summer camp where I worked. In spite of my obsession, or perhaps because of it, I chose to go to business school at Georgetown, which offered a double core of liberal arts and business courses. So in addition to classes like philosophy of music, I hit classic DC music venues, DJ'd at the college radio station, worked in the Department of Art, Music, and Theater, and played out primarily with a group of friends in a cover band. I knew I didn't have the chops to be a professional musician, but I could see music being a profession. My senior summer, I was in Manhattan for an internship at Epic Records, where among other things, I got to work on one of the single biggest album launches of that time, Macy Gray's debut on How Life Is. I ultimately graduated with a BS in marketing and music minor. Through my new contacts at Epic, I landed a job with Hervey & Company, a boutique music management firm whose roster included Kenneth Babyface Edmonds and Grammy nominee Kenny Lattimore. My salary was unpaid adjacent, but at Epic, if I was getting my feet wet at Epic, it was a full deep dive. So anyway, anybody remember Napster? In the early 2000s, file trading platforms completely disrupted the traditional music distribution model. Now, while Napster was enabling theft, the mainstream music industry had become top-heavy. I witnessed firsthand how artist development was sacrificed to boilerplate marketing. Meanwhile, my grandfather had relocated to the capital region, and his health was declining. So in 23, I left Hervey and moved up to help him while I took a hand at independent music management. So began several years hunkered in vans, or in one case, a used limo, coordinating with college stations and crashing on couches. In 2005, me and a promoter friend, George Kansas, found ourselves called to action by stories of devastation from the East Asian tsunami disaster. Decided to put together a benefit concert. Albany Mayor Jerry Jennings gave us the Palace Theater, so with 2,800 seats to fill in just a few weeks, we put out a call to the local arts community. 2,000 people came out to that first Rock to Rebuild show, which exclusively featured homegrown artists. Everyone donated their time and talent, so with little cash sponsorship and $10 tickets, we raised over $26,000. For me, Rock to Rebuild was like a barn raising, where a community pools its talents to build a barn for a neighbor. Of course, at this point, the barn was purely metaphorical, but I kept thinking of a place called AS220 in Providence that I had visited on tour. AS220 was founded in a one-room rental and grew to 4 mixed-use buildings where artists can create, exhibit, perform, even live. I began pulling away from independent music to focus on literally putting a roof over the Rock to Rebuild concept. In 2006, Albany Barn was founded to create a place where local artists could turn craft into career. Shortly thereafter, we partnered with the Albany Housing Authority to remake a long vacant school building in Albany's Arbor Hill neighborhood into 22 affordable live-work apartments and 14,000 square feet of low-cost studio, exhibition, performance, and program space. And thus began nearly a decade of advocating, bootstrapping, budgeting, convening, convincing, designing, developing, fundraising, friend-raising, hiring, networking, negotiating, partnering, programming, researching, and not sleeping. In December 2014, the barn officially opened, and artists began moving in. Albany Barn subsequently opened Artistry Studios and Electric City Barn, both in Schenectady. I'm happy to report that, COVID be damned, last year we celebrated the 10th anniversary of the barn. These guys, thank you. 2014 also happened to be the year I started at Rosenblum. One of the great joys of my work is that I've been able to continue supporting local creatives in a new capacity, commissioning artists to help us make our properties more special. This is Lexi Hanna painting one of 9 custom murals at Industry, our latest multifamily project, and Lexi actually has a studio at the barn. Along the way, got married, I started a family. My oldest, Alex, literally grew up in the barn. And that, my friends, is how I fell backwards into real estate development by following my heart rather than a predetermined path, not unlike how a song unfolds the very first time you hear it.
All right, thank you, Jeff. So we're headed to a break. I just want to kind of give a few quick remarks beforehand, but I don't want to eat too much into the break. Thank you all. The first half of our presentations, they were all awesome. I think for me, kind of the word that comes to mind is belief, right? It's the belief not only in yourself, but the belief in other people, right? Jeff, the belief it took from the first time you felt the teen spirit to, making a career, out of music. And Guy, your windmill had a pillar. It stood on belief, and that's really the foundation there. And Amari and Jennifer, I could be wrong, but probably a place of where your passion started was, it was crazy to see what other people were capable of if they had someone that just believed in them. And Ashley, obviously, for mindfulness, you have to, have time to believe in yourself, to take that step to have that clarity. So I don't want to take up any more of your time. Can we give everyone another round of applause? So we're gonna take a 10-minute break, grab coffee, dessert, a drink, and we'll see you back in 10 minutes.
Hello, everybody. If we could get all of the guest speakers to the stage for a photograph, if we can have all of the guest speakers to the stage for a photograph, please.
If everyone could please return to your seats, we're going to get started in just a few seconds. Hello? Is anybody out there? Can you guys please return to your seats? We're going to get started with 5 more presentations. Thank you. All right, are we ready to get started? This is my literal least favorite part of emceeing any event, is trying to get people to focus again, because I also want to just gab and chat, but we still have 5 more speakers. So please, help me in welcoming our next speaker, a strong community leader, educator, and youth advocate. His name is Devin Wimberly, but you can call him Coach. Deeply dedicated to creating opportunity for underserved youth and elevating men of color, he brings passion and drive to everything he does. Let's show him some love. Give it up for Coach Wimberly.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, YPN! Hey, YPN, I need your help for a second. This is what I need, YPN. I'm going to say YPN, 3 on me. Then I'm going to count to 3, and I want to clap 3 times, all right? Let's see if we can do this. Let's go. We got this. Ready? YPN, 3 on. Ooh, some of y'all. So, it's a yellow bus house. All right, here we go. YPN, 3 on me. What? Woo. They serving real drinks at that bar. They serving real drinks. All right, real slow. Okay, real slow. YPN, 3 on me. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, I'm the type of person, my kind of people are like thermostats. They're different than thermometers. Thermometers are all of you who sat back and didn't want to raise your hands, who didn't want to participate. Thermostats are the type of people who make change in our culture, change in our worlds. And I'm that type of person. See, you could take it from me because I was born and raised in a certain kind of perspective. This perspective was called the middle child perspective. Now, unlike Miss Darcy, the middle child perspective, Danzy, the middle child perspective is the perspective where your older brother is kind of like, yeah, that's a life touch too. Remember those? Right? Where your older brother is the protector, and then you kind of facilitate that understanding and knowledge, and then you also turn around and become a protector to your younger brother. So that is where I am in my life. Now, if you take a look here, this is inner city football. This is downtown Morton Ave. This is Albany, New York. I had a leadership role right here with these eloquent gentlemen. It was because some were from uptown, some were from downtown, and we had to gel together. That leadership looked a little like this right here, as you can see. Okay, my education is in Albany. All right, I am a Giffen Gator and also a University of Rochester, but I want to share even more than that. What I want to share is leadership changed for me because of education. That's the important part. As you can see here, this is Union College, and my leadership role was a 2-time captain. Because of this opportunity in education, I was afforded to not only go and try out for the St. Louis Rams, but also the New York Giants. That's because of the education that was presented to me and the opportunity by Albany City School District. Now, when you want to know about Albany Academy's Athletic Hall of Fame, yeah, you didn't even know that, did you? When you want to hear about that, it wasn't this piece that was for me. Everything in my life is selfless. I have 7 other men who are married, who have children, who have houses and jobs like CEOs and doctors because of that experience. My experience as a mentor and My Brother's Keeper is because of the Barack Obama initiative called My Brother's Keeper, where we have restorative spaces where we can sit down and get real eloquent about our conversations with one another. But that's not even the end here, because it reciprocates itself. So not even being a mentor, but being a mentee and learning from the men whom I learned from in order to teach the young men about this experience right here. I'm in other spaces like the NAACP, the Morning Glory Prayer Line on Wednesdays and Fridays, and not to mention, this is great. This is the middle of my collage. So what you've seen was the beginning of my childhood. The middle right here is the Matthew 7:7. Seek and you shall find. Ask and knock and the door shall be open. All of them actionable items. What I'm asking you is how actionable are you? Created by me. Fire chefs, food, insecurity, resilience, education. This program goes throughout 3 middle schools in the Schenectady City School District, created in 2022, 3 years, and still running. I'm not even there anymore. I'm at Albany City Schools now. This one right here is my baby. That's me, Coach Wimberly. Did you know that your body is 70% water? In being so, what it does is it vibrates. So every positive and negative word that comes out of your mouth is a word that sits back with energy. It is like the ripple that creates the wave. That program right here, that's a mom flag football team created by me, all right? Just to share with you how you open up opportunities. Coach isn't gonna stop. This piece right here once those 4 teams were created, they've played for 6 years. That's through the COVID season. And what you see now is because of my experience and my 2-time captainship at Union College, I was afforded the opportunity to create the Gridiron Club program for 10 and 11-year-olds to step on the scene of a college. 80% of them are not even going to play athletics in college. This is United Community Schools. That's where I am right now as a program manager. I get the opportunity and the blessing to teach in the same schools that taught me. Y'all know the word. Come on, man. That's great stuff right there. So all 9 of those directors are my students. That's who I work with every single day. The opportunity at Safe Inc. Safe Inc. is as a board member, Safe Inc. goes to show for domestic violence women. Have you ever had someone you really needed to call and there was no one on the other line? Well, damn it, I'm just not gonna be that person. I'm gonna give all I can wherever I can. If you always look for food insecurities, you can find Coach at the Regional Food Bank. You can find me at the Capital Region Concern for Hunger and Schenectady Shares. I will be in Albany, I will be in Schenectady, I will be in Troy. What I am asking you is about your selflessness. Last but not least is my work at the New York State Legislative Office Building. We have to remember to keep advocating for our children in this experience that we have. This one is about us today, and you may not have an opportunity to do so later on. That's my mentor for 34 years, ladies and gentlemen, Councilman Alvin Gamble. We're on the prayer line on Wednesdays. We're on the prayer line on Fridays. And to God be the glory. He's been in my life through all the ups and all the downs. And I just love him. I say, good God and gracious, that man right there saved my life. So my future vision for the Capital Region is very simple. It has to start with education. Stop bringing us systems and programs out to our children if they cannot read. Where I am today, business growth can be what we need it to be. I want to leave you with a final reflection. It wasn't even Mickey, it was Duke. That was Apollo Creed's dad. He told Rocky to throw in the towel. I'm not asking you to throw in the towel. What I'm asking you is if you're going to go all in for Albany and you want to see a change and you want to see Albany, ding, ding. And that's how you run the show. Thank you, baby, for having me, Sammy.
You're amazing.
You know.
That is a tough act to follow, that's for sure. I hope that we all feel inspired to get involved and give back. And I think one of the most impactful things that Coach had said was He's doing this work across the capital region, not just in Albany, not just in Schenectady, not just in Troy. And I think sometimes in the capital region, we tend to stick to our own little areas. And I think we can truly make an impact if we look at the region as a whole. So next, speaking of giving back, I'd like to introduce Laquetta Alexander Ellis. She's a powerhouse in healthcare education and community advocacy. As the founder of Practice to Perfect Training Center, which just celebrated 5 years in business and is a certified MWBE, Minority Women Business Enterprise, she's graduated over 700 students. Please welcome Laquetta.
It's a celebration every time we link up. We done did everything they could think of. Greatness is what we on the brink of. That I could have this moment for life.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Guy. All right, it was all a dream. As you can see, this was when I was probably in first grade. This is when it all started for me. My passion was always to help the sick, and now it expanded to further, but we're gonna get into that. As a little girl, I had big dreams, but didn't always know how to reach them. I was curious, determined, and ready to take on the world. I was grandma's favorite. That's my grandmother. Growing up, I watched my family work hard, and I learned the value of perseverance. Their story shaped my ambition. I've always had a passion for healthcare and helping others succeed. Life wasn't always easy. There were obstacles, doubts, and moments where I wanted to quit. But I learned that challenges made us stronger. My daughter, my family, my husband was my motivation. A passion for healthcare sparks. My first spark of interest in healthcare came when I helped take care of my ill grandfather as he was on hospice. That made me realize I wanted to help people. I pursued education with determination, knowing that knowledge would be my gateway to succeed. Every late night and every sacrifice was worth it. My first experience teaching in a county jail confirmed that I was exactly where I wanted to be, making a difference in people's lives and giving them a second chance. Serving during COVID-19. The pandemic changed everything. As a New York State contact tracer and a COVID vaccinator, I stood on the front lines, helping protect my community in a time of uncertainty. See, the problem I saw was a lack of accessible and affordable, competent healthcare trainings. I realized my impact could be even greater by teaching. Over the years, I've trained and guided over 700 students, helping them build their careers in healthcare. In 2020, I took a leap of faith and founded Practice to Perfect out of my kitchen. I am the first Black-owned training center in the capital region. I built it from scratch. No loans, just hard work, a vision, determination, and faith. I wanted to create opportunities for people who looked like me, who needed a change. I fought to break barriers in healthcare education, making healthcare education reachable to all. I couldn't do it alone. The support of my students, my colleagues, and my community fueled my mission. Together, we've created a legacy. From local awards to statewide honors, every recognition is a testament to the work I've done, but my greatest achievement is the success of my students. I didn't stop at phlebotomy or CPR trainings, but workforce development, mentorship, and community outreach became a part of the bigger vision. Becoming a mentor, giving back became essential for me. Through programs like Russell Sage ICANN program, I now mentor future leaders just as I was once guided. The next generation, my baby journey. My greatest joy, watching my own child excel. With 100% on her physics exam and the dreams of college to become a forensic psychologist, I see the cycle of success continuing. Facing setbacks and pushing forward, not every step was easy. There were rejections, financial struggles, and moments of doubt, but quitting was never an option. While caring for my ill father and involved in a major car accident, spinning on 2 wheels and hitting a tree off the highway, I just knew my life ended there. The future of P2P, we are just getting started. More programs, more partnerships, more lives changed. This is only the beginning. In 2024, I received my proclamation from Senator Neil Breslin. My why, the legacy I'm building. I do this for my community, for my students, and for my child. I want to leave behind a legacy of empowerment and opportunity. If there's one lesson from my journey, it's this: never give up, keep pushing, keep growing, and always believe in what's possible. Good service can move mountains. And now, lastly, I am proud to announce that Practice the Perfect Training Center, LLC, is now a New York State licensed school under the New York State Department of Education.
Laquetta, thank you for sharing your story and your vulnerability with the group. It's not easy to be up here. Our next presenter is somebody who sees the world through a different lens, literally. As the digital brand creator for Mohawk Auto Group, he brings brands to life through photography, videography, and design. I'm pleased to welcome my first ever mentee from the YPN Mentorship Program, Jared DeGroff, a master of visual storytelling, turning everyday moments into captivating narratives. Let's look through Jared's lens.
All right, well, thank you everyone. I really appreciate it. Kind of a weird full circle moment, right, Brittany? Before I get started, I have a close friend that always did this before he did something important. So we are going to take a selfie. This one's a little big, so we're just going to use the phone real quick. So, real quick, if the iPhone wants to work with me here. You know, you'd think it'd work better. But anyway. All right. So, on the count of 3, we are going to take a nice little selfie. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, so we're just going to wing it. We're going to see how it goes. So this is Beyond the Lens, the story behind the shot. Let's go. So every story starts with something, right? For me, it was a blank canvas. This shot was one of my very first shots, actually, that looked just like it. Zero roadmap, no idea. Really had no idea what I wanted to do. But I did have an idea to just capture the world in a different way, just to do something different. Siena wasn't just a college. It became a forge where I learned the basics of storytelling, composition, but it's also where I first picked up a camera and where I decided and found out that this passion could be a possibility. I could do this for real. Went a little fast on that one. Anyway, pretty cool leaf, right? So photography taught me to look at a different lens, change the way you think of things. This is a portal. The colors, the spirals, it changed your perception. Think about things differently, not what is, but what could be. Everything became art, and nothing was off limits. This is a pretty cool frog. And when I look at it, I see a lot of different things, but I also see hours of patience. I see tons of practice, shots that didn't make the cut, and just everything that culminated into this very moment. The reason I take these shots is because it's things people don't see, and out of this shot, there's tons of failures, but this one was pretty cool. Feel something or feel nothing at all. So shots that hit you right in the chest, that's what I aim to do. Not everything is perfect, but I try to capture moments that make you feel something. Look at something differently and just make you feel as if you're right there. There's always a story. There's always something different going on. And this was the baptism by the Firewolves. This was my first pro shoot. That day, I was on the field, lacrosse balls whizzing by my head, worried about my camera lens, wondering why I was even there. And in that moment, it clicked. I took this photo. And at that moment, I really realized why I was there. It was something that I always wanted to do, and there I was. From a weekend gig to a full-time, full-send career. I started working with Mohawk, and this is where I could turn brands into reality, take these images and tell a story. This is where it started to make an impact. This was business, it was real, it was powerful, and it was quite a different experience. You gotta learn from the failures though. If you're out, things happen. Weather changes, gear dies, plans fall apart. But in these moments, we find out what can really happen. And a lot of lessons can be learned from the failures and what you don't know what's gonna happen. You learn from those and you keep moving forward. Look through the look through the eyes of a child. See the wonder, you look at her face, you don't know what's going on, and it really doesn't matter. But you look at her and you see just the awe, the beauty, whatever's happening in her mind. That is the reason why I want to take these photos. These moments that are magical and special. It isn't what is, it is what could be. And take me to the top. There is no magic day where you wake up and you're like, oh, I made it, I'm there, I did it. It's always a climb. It's always a journey. There's ups and downs, and nothing is ever a straight path. But it's these climbs that build legends. They make you different. And every day is a struggle, but every day we keep climbing higher. And then there's moments where the world hushes. Everything fades away, the noise dies down, and you're looking out over whatever it is you're looking out on, and you realize that this is something that you want to do. It's not something that maybe you expected to do, but it's something that you wanted to do. And in this moment, camera in hand, I found that peace, and I realized what I wanted to do. Everything is a reflection. So whether I'm shooting photos of someone else out in the lacrosse field, everything that I do has a piece of me in it. It has a piece of my story. It has a piece of what I've done, where I've been, all the different things from construction to working at Northeastern Fine Jewelry to waxing cars. Everything has a fingerprint from me, my story, my journey. And if not now, when? This is a quote I carry with me all the time. Imposter syndrome, I have been there, and it sucks. But if not now, when? Take the leap, take the jump. I took my camera, do something, make it happen. Come on. So, and tell a story. You know, this photo wasn't magic editing tricks. There wasn't fancy lights. There wasn't anything, but it did tell a story. You look at the player's face. This was the first game of their season, and it really is impactful and powerful. And again, these are the moments that matter. These are the moments that everyone doesn't see. And then there is the Ziggy effect. Patented, trademarked, no one take it. Anyway, life is about these messy little miracles. This is my cat. He was hanging out in the tree, probably trying to eat a light bulb. God knows what he was trying to do. But life is about those messy little miracles and the little things that happen along the way. Living the dream. I used to say this all the time. How's it going? Living the dream. I would also joke and say, usually not my dream. But finally, I can say I am living that dream. I get to wake up every day, I get to create, I get to do things differently, I get to leave my mark, and that is something that I've wanted for a very long time. And the best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I don't wait for green lights anymore, except for stoplights, I wait for those. But the green lights, I make my own, right? Take the shot, take the opportunity, pick up that hobby, go on that trip, do something that you want to do, because if you don't do it, no one else will. To my younger self, I didn't know a lot, but what I did know is take the chance, fail fast, try hard, be loud, and just be different. Make it happen. Learn something from it and keep moving forward. Still a little fast on that one. Anyway, again, there is no I made it moment. The journey continues. Everything changes, and I will just keep trying to find my way. There is no path that's straightforward. There is no rule book. You just keep going, keep evolving, keep changing, and try something new. You will always keep adventuring, keep creating, and just keep doing. And if you're reading this, it is not too late. You can go out, you can do whatever you want to do. You can take the journey, take the adventure. I took my camera, go out and find something that you want to do. Because if you don't, no one will. So that's my story. I hope if you are reading this, which I hope you all are, if you can't read, I read it to you. But go out, do everything that you can to do, create, be yourself, defy ordinary, capture extraordinary, and that's my story.
Jared was talking about being nervous when there were lacrosse balls flying in his camera. I was very nervous as he's just casually holding hundreds of dollars of equipment in one hand. But that's just me. Thousands? I don't know how much that costs. I'm not a photographer. I'm not pretending to be. Okay, so we are on to our final speaker. Our final speaker is someone who thrives on embracing the unexpected opportunities and making the most of every moment. Laurabelle Morse is a strategic planning analyst at NYSTEC with a diverse background proving that every experience counts. A proud Capital Region transplant, Laurabelle has truly found her place here. She has a special love for exploring our local parks and reading park bench dedications. Please join me in welcoming Laurabelle.
Thank you, YPN, for having me. NYSTEC for believing in me, and everyone for being here or watching from home. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Shire, y'all. You will find that my personal sense of style is rooted in the cottage core, if hobbits had office jobs aesthetic, and interpersonally, it's rooted in connection and community, which is where Kapwa comes in. Kapwa is the Filipino philosophy that centers on our ability to see ourselves in others and to recognize our shared identity. The thing that makes Kapwa special to me is that it doesn't demand perfection from us, simply authenticity and an open heart. This story is about how I've witnessed Kapwa as someone who was born in New York City, raised in central New York, and chose to make the Capital Region home. I'm the child of Filipino immigrants, where Kapwa was found seamlessly in neighborhoods like Woodside, Elmhurst, and Woodhaven, which felt like little Manilas in the borough of Queens. Family by blood, family by choice, familiar languages, cuisines, and traditions filled our days. Oh, I love you, Mom and Dad. The city became the barometer upon which I compared everything. Every corner store, restaurant, park, warm breeze, summer day, ice cream truck, you name it. This is how I started making and articulating connections between where I've been and all the new places life was taking me to. In '97, my family relocated to Norwich, where Kapwa was finding glimmers amidst the culture shock of central New York. It was listening to Believe by Cher on repeat to learn how to speak English, listening to the Backstreet Boys when taking short trips to the city whenever we missed it, which was often, and backyard bonfires being a summertime solace. And as family from downstate began to visit us, we nurtured seeds of connection to the city and the memories made in our new home. It's where my culture, propagated with purpose, was deepened by a love for nature and the outdoors. And it shaped my understanding of interdependence and my place in the vastness of things. 2012, I moved to the Capital Region for college at Siena and roomed with who is now one of my dearest friends, Taryn. Both being Filipino, we bonded a lot over our families. She has a leg tattoo of calamansi and tamarind, both commonly used in Filipino cooking, in honor of our elders who, like those ingredients, are transplants to the cold northeastern U.S. from the tropical Philippines, who against all odds have thrived. Her words. Kapwa is Taryn being a mirror that reminds us that as children of immigrants, our parents endured the challenge of survival so we could pursue things like purpose just a bit further. And in that pursuit, I chose to stay in the Capital Region after college because of grad school, work, and being at a convenient middle point between my parents in Norwich and everyone in the city. I also found comfort in how familiar the area was with so much left to explore. Now, in terms of my professional journey, life, circumstances, and a layoff made my path an interesting one. From higher ed to customer success, radio ad copywriting, voiceovers, and now corporate strategy. From the many plot twists and side quests that have led me here, I have found Kapwa everywhere around Albany. I have found it physically in the karaoke bars, bookstores, gyms, coffee shops, thrift stores, and green spaces that have become the third spaces where, by choice or by happenstance, we connect meaningfully with others. This is where I learned the importance of being unapologetically ourselves so the people looking for us can find us. This aspect of Kapwa calls us to lean into discomfort to reach all the good stuff that's on the other side of fear. Like that one quote tells us, if we want the rewards of being loved, we must submit to the mortifying ordeal of being known. There's a lot to do and see and be a part of so long as we open ourselves up to it. I found Kapwa virtually in the sincere check-ins from coworkers on Teams or WhatsApp, as well as a karaoke group chat that reminds me that carving out space and time for fun is an excellent use of free will. It's reassuring to know that camaraderie can persist through the quiet care of online communities. And I found Kapwa personally in the park bench dedications that I love to read whenever I go for walks and I happen to come across them. To know that people are loved to the point of intention, creation, and commemoration is to know that humans can be so cute sometimes, you know, and that a community can endure even the harshest seasons. I also found Kapwa in the relationships I forged during and after college. My people have shown me how beautiful it can be to truly see and hold others gently in our hearts, to acknowledge how much has changed, and to celebrate the parts of ourselves that the rough edges of the world and time could not take from us. In many ways, I ended up in the Capital Region by chance, but staying was an intentional choice. And by embracing that choice, I've been able to fall in love with the area for what it is, while also losing count of the times I've been somewhere, met someone, or seen something that made me feel like a piece of the city or Norwich was right here in Albany. This is how I learned that home can simultaneously be a place and a feeling, and what a treasure it is to find it in the people around us. In the end, this story was a love story, and one that is still being written for the Capital Region, a place that brings the best parts of all the communities I've lived in together. So I encourage us all to take an inventory of the ways we see Kapwa in our lives, in ourselves and in others. Let it remind us that in big ways and small ways, intentionally and unintentionally, there's space for us to be seen and to belong. Sometimes it's in a place, sometimes it's in a song, and sometimes it's with people. To be open to these experiences is to be vulnerable, a strength that makes collective care in joy, grief, sorrow, and everything in between so tremendous. We share threads of who we are, not realizing that our stories may impact, inspire, and empower others, if not at the very least entertain them, you know? And it's how we weave these bits together that we create a tapestry of our communal identity and our communal story. In that, Kapwa is simply a reminder and a commitment, a whisper and a celebration of what's possible when we meet each other and ourselves where we're at. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Laura Bell. So with that concludes the evening. And whether this was your first PK or your third PK, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you loved it and can't wait until next year's 2026 PechaKucha, the Opalka Gallery at Russell Sage hosts events like this throughout the year, so you can check them out for upcoming PK nights. Save the date and plan to join YPN for our upcoming event on May 28th, Circle of Growth, a mentorship roundtable. This morning event is open to everyone, people involved in the mentorship program and those who are not, and registration is available online. If you're looking to further your connection with YPN, please reach out to Sammy Gowan at the Capital Region Chamber to get involved. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the presentations, and please let's give a final round of applause to our sponsors, Brown's Revolution Hall, Agora Media's tech team, Andrew Elder, and of course, our guest speakers. PK is a challenge, and everyone crushed it tonight. So thank you all, and have a good evening.